Hello and welcome back to Kaiserreich. Again, I'm working with a new new hardware, new setup. So if you watched my previous videos and you think the audio quality is different, or if it's worse, especially, let me know. I'm still tweaking stuff, but the eldest daughter of the church is probably the one I'm going to go with next because on the national foci, because we will be going down some paths on the left side here, which will be wrecking our stability. So we want that base stability here. So France is the eldest daughter, or elder daughter of the church, home of countless saints and faithful heroes, defending the faith at every turn, even blessed with saintly kings like Saint Louis. That is, until the Revolution and the 1905 laws. We must repent for these errors and restore the church to her rightful position. So let's go and do that. And, the Fourth Balkan War. Also a thing that happens in pretty much every game. I don't think it's avoidable. 1937 Dutch elections. The Social Democratic SDAP party has joined in coalition with the moderate VDB, promising a progressive administration that aims to solve the nation's many crises. Okay. Reasonable, I guess. Down with Marianne. Marianne was a perfect symbol of the Republic. Vulgar, denuded, looking like little more than a prostitute or a beggar. She embodied the mediocrity of the Republican regime. Chosen under the short-lived Second Republic, her representation became systematic under the Third, appearing in public buildings, statues, stamps, and all things related to the state. But now, freed from the Republican shackles, France shall no longer be represented by a mere peasant. No longer is our people drinking the rotten milk from the deceased Republican teats. Busts in town halls have been taken down, statues brought down and destroyed by cheering Camelots. Instead, we will build symbols of the true France, such as statues of King Saint Louis and Saint Jean d'Arc. Or representations of the royal lilies and the Gallic rooster. As for the official personification of our nation, we simply have to look to the past for inspiration. France had traditionally been represented as a woman in a blue cloak with golden fleur-de-lis. Is that how you spell de lis? Armed or brandishing the royal hand of justice, often wearing a gold crown or a helmet, sometimes armored, a much more fitting symbol for a reborn kingdom. So it's some looking back to the glory days kind of thing. Very, very common in fascistic or fascist-esque movements, which of course this one is. How are we doing for equipment? We are gaining more equipment than we're using, which means that we can, in theory, be training more units than we are. Yeah, there we go. Now we're losing. King Edward's address. King Edward the VIII today addressed the nations of the Entente by radio. Our hearts goes out to those noble Americans who now find themselves called upon to fight against the forces of tyranny and oppression in their own homeland, he said. We know full well the consequences of their failure, as well as the terrible cost to one's soul when the one's own countrymen. Our alliance cannot merely grieve for the devastation, however. We must stand ready to act, for the fate of America is inextricably linked to our own. Should America fall to cynicalism, so too shall the dominion of Canada and then us all. Would that we did not need to consider such a grave possibility as intervention, but consider it we must, for the good of all humanity. Okay. Okay. Caballistas have taken over Spain? Election success. Wait, how? Oh. No civil war in Spain then, I guess. That's interesting. I've never seen that before, I don't think. The Tsardom restored. The Russian Tsar has been instituted, Kirill I. Okay, well that seems like it's not gonna cause any troubles at all. Islamic Federation of Turkestan declared war on Alash Orda. Oh, we have new research, yeah. I keep accidentally hitting WASD to move around because I've been playing other games that allow me to do that are of this sort of style. We're still far away off the new infantry equipment, so we're not going to go with that. Armor, I think... so there is a focus on the left side here that gives us... armor research time plus 10%. Doesn't seem like that's good, but I think it is because the number is green. So I might wait until we get that, because that's not that far off. Though I do want to get this one, because it gives us a high recruitable population. It replaces the Queen of the Battlefield modifier, but the Queen of the Battlefield modifier extends the division training time by 10%, which is not great either. If I am interpreting those modifiers correctly. So, oh, heavy tank. That would be fun, actually, but I don't think so. They guzzle a lot of fuel, and that's not something we really have. We need that fuel for our Navy and our Air Force in order to secure our naval landings. We may as well build close air support planes, I think. May as well have some of those. Fuel storage, we'll go for that actually, because I want to build some fuel silos, because we won't have a good source of fuel for a while. News from Corsica. This morning, war memorial containing soil from the mainland was inaugurated on a beach near Ajaccio? I have no idea how to pronounce that. It's Italian, right? It was dedicated to the tens of thousands of Corsicans who gave their lives for France during the Weltkrieg and subsequent civil war. Since the revolution, the island has been an incredibly important bastion for us. Indeed, it is so close from the commune that its shores can be seen on a clear day, while Italy is less than 40 kilometers away. As such, it has become a focal point for the Mediterranean strategy of the Entente, having quickly been transformed into a major naval and airbase from which our ships patrol as close as possible to the mainland, with 10 face-offs with the international ships occurring every other week. Any liberation effort will have to start here. No, it doesn't necessarily, but that is the plan, I suppose. And much of the intelligence and reconnaissance work done in France and Italy is coordinated from Bastia and Ajaccio. It is also there that the first waves of exiles landed. And though most moved on to Algeria, many stayed, creating a population and economic boost that, paired with the military buildup, has revitalized the island, despite perpetual tensions as war looms. Although there is no longer a stream of refugees like in the days of the Commune, there is still, early days rather, there's still a constant trickle of dissidents making their way to our shores. So we gained a bunch of manpower from the dissidents, I'm guessing. We might actually send over the Marines right now, just to prep, because I mean, we know where we're gonna invade, right? That way we also don't have to really have a garrison over there. And then I think I'm gonna split our army into two once we actually have an army, and keep the colonial garrison down in France, and keep most of the Republican army up on Corsica, so they can immediately hop over whenever we capture Nice, if we do. And that is a big if. Oh, we need guns to send to the US. The CNTFAI have captured Spain, and as such her former colonies in Rio del Oro. If we want to secure the region, we must strike now, while the anarchists are unstable. You know what? Why not? Because they haven't consolidated yet. They're doing it right now. Ooh, research speed 8%, yes. Yes, please. Instead, we'll foster the opposite, classicism, refining the genius of the ancient Greeks and Romans through a thoroughly French lens. Stoic sobriety and so on and so forth. The CGTT starts a strike. General Confederation of the Tunisian Workers was founded in the 1920s by Muhammad Ali El-Hami, noted sympathizer of the syndicalists beyond the sea. Oh god, okay, so we have worker strikes in Tunisia. Syndicalist propaganda wasn't already threatening enough. The strikes have also put to the forefront a word of independence for Tunisia. An absurdity, of course, but one of these workers seems to believe it, or one of these workers, rather. In any way, it's going to be the time for a bit of a cleaning in the dockers of the port of Tunis. And if the strikers won't disperse themselves, we will have to send the army. We are still looking fine though, we're green across the board, or yellow at least. With the CNTFAI revolution in Spain and they're gaining control over the African colonies of Spain, they have a foothold here. We chose to invade these territories to secure them from the Red Threat. Now we face a choice. What shall we do with it? Because we gain a claim, we lost manpower, we lost some guns. So it's like an event annexation, I'm guessing. We don't have a decision for it. Oh, there, it's ours, I guess. Now, does that count as occupied? No, it does not. Good. Or at least it's at 0%. A burnt-out village. After one of our armored car patrols in eastern Mauritania stumbled across what remains of a smoldering village. A few panicked survivors first tried to hide from our unit, but after one of our native soldiers took off his cap and set aside his rifle, one of the survivors managed to get over his fear and to tell a horrible story about the camel riders of the east who swarmed in to take prisoners off as slaves. Anyone who resisted did not see much fruit for their labors. Another soldier calls out that he can make out a faint trail moving east, but a sandstorm appears to be moving up from the south. After them. Mexico has joined the Third International. Well, the International is starting to look pretty strong. Party of the Mexican Workers, I think that is. And that's a syndicalist party. Then you have the syndicalist, or you have the radical socialists, which I'm guessing are the anarchists, right? Oh no, caballistas. So the syndicalists are the anarchists. Caballistas, I don't know what that means. Then you have the syndicalists, and you have the syndicalists. And in Italy, we have the radical socialists, PSI. So the only place with totalism right now, it seems, is Baratia Commune. Let's look at Left Kuomintang. They are radical socialists as well. Oh boy. It's still, it's gonna get better. Honestly, that's a surprisingly blessed Third International. The Indo-Chinese Revolution is defeated. Well, slave caravan has been captured. Hail the breakers of chains. So now Mauritania should be more compliant. Don't know where it is. There it is, Mauritania. It's also that place like near Lumbridge in RuneScape, isn't it? Garrison attacked like the swampland area. Garrison attacked in French Sudan. Not great. Russian Empire declared war on Alash Orda, so they're starting to go down the southern path, or like going down the foreign policy tree where they end up at war with everything to the south. Big text block, can't read, my voice will die. Okay, I'm gonna go with, I think, decentralization next to get some building slots. It's not gonna do much, but it's gonna put us towards these, like, recruitable population factor 10 extra, because it's green. And we've got localism, which gives us more building slots at a cost of stability, but it's not a big deal. Either way, it's not a big loss, it's not a big gain, because it's just building slots. We still need to build something there. Though we do end up running out of space eventually here, because there aren't many building slots in the African provinces. But this, I think we want. Daily political power gain, 0.25. Mozambique Bush War. In German Middle Africa? Oh, it's between Portugal and and in Middle Africa. It's a limited war. They're going to try to fight over their colonies. Goering wants more land. Oh, never mind. It's not Goering anymore. Fritz Thyssen. Huh. So he's not... Yeah, they didn't go down like the incredibly cursed path, I guess, where they turn Africa into like a slave continent, I guess. Oh, these are also really good. Gives us a military factory as well. And research bonus for infantry weapons. We'll do that after, I think, because we'll, at that point, the ahead of time penalty will be gone on the infantry weapons stuff, or infantry equipment, or whatever it's called. Let's go with decentralization for now. We are still building. We have the ability to modify our government. I think we're going to go with this. To increase fuel gain per oil. We don't have oil, do we? No, we don't. But it's going to give us a bunch of really good bonuses to construction speed. As well as consumer goods factories. Anything else we need to remove here? This one. This one, I guess. This is going to be removed once we finish it. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, I'm gonna leave the doctrines as I usually do, because I don't know... Actually, no, I talked to people in Discord, never mind. Yesterday, was it, or the day before? Because there's people in my Discord, by the way, Discord link in the description down below. There's people in the Discord doing, like, multiplayer games and stuff, and I just hopped in once and asked, like, what doctrine to go by, or go through. And I think I was told Grand Battle Plan or Superior Firepower, I think. I'll have to double check again, because I've forgotten. Fleet speed while retreating, no. Good, but... I mean, it's 15 days or 14 days. Let's just do it so we're doing something with it. Synthetic refinery would be really good. But it takes time to build, and it takes a building slot. And right now, I need guns. More than oil, I think. Or fuel. Actually, you know what? Let's go... let's do this. And then we'll build a single synthetic refinery, because without it, the Air Force will eventually crumble, and our Navy will eventually crumble as well. Murder rocks the Kasbah. That's a reference to The Clash. I mean, base stability over political power, any day. Apologies for not reading all those events. Some of them are so long. Now we're gonna go civilian factory still. We're not quite at the point where we're gonna be mainlining military factories, because again, we probably won't be in the war immediately when it begins anyways, and it's only 1937, so we're still a fair bit away from the war, I believe. It can start fairly early, but I hope it doesn't. Because then usually one side rolls over the other, and I am kind of preparing for the reality that we're going to have to fight both sides. Because, I mean, Germany isn't going to give all of France over for free, right? If they win, rather. And if the Syndicalists win, it's going to be really, really bad for us. A new national day. So it's like a national holiday. France did not have an official national day prior to the revolution, and as such, 3 propositions have been brought before the king. The feast day of Saint Louis, King of France, on the 25th of August. That's closest the ancient regime had to a national day. However, since 1922, 2 saints have been declared by the papacy to be the primary patron saints of France. Our Lady on her Assumption, the 15th of August, as she has been traditionally considered Regina Gallier, Queen of France, and Saint Joan of Arc, sent by God to free France. As a feast day falling on the 30th of May, when her martyrdom took place. We should go for Joan of Arc, right? It has to be this one, right? The text isn't very clear because you have to know some of the history, but we must hear God's call to save Francis, of course. What happened with Joan of Arc? So let's go with that one. I want this real bad. Special Forces. But I don't know. Let me check. I know that we get Special Forces modifiers on this, but it doesn't modify the research speed. So we can, with a clean conscience, research that without missing out on something else whenever the ahead of time is gone. We get an armor research speed thing, so not going to do that. I guess radio, so we can build some radar up on the northern shore for the intel, and on Corsica. German Empire declared war on the Socialist Republic of Ukraine. Syndicalism prevails in Ukraine. Okay. This is Alexander Shumsky. Have I heard of this guy before? Borobisti is the faction. They are syndicalist. A red hetman. That's Shumsky there. Popular Front. Increase Kulak taxation or expropriate Kulak holdings. Fate of the monarchy. Purge the leftist or red hetman. Okay, so they actually went down the left path instead of the purge the leftist path, which gives you this stuff, which is, I'm guessing, some Ukrainian nationalism. But instead, they are now going to a friendship of nations, communal housing, and liberate the industries to the workers. Ukraine would be a kind of cool nation to play at some point. Poland has joined Austria's faction, the Donau-Adria-Bund. We don't need the recruitable population quite yet. We don't need the what is this? Wait, where is this on the music list? The Black Sea. I can't see it. Hopefully, I can't remember having heard this before ever. Hopefully this isn't like DMCA stuff. It's very cool. Let's do this. Get the military factory as well. Now this is of course no longer the Republican Army, but we'll have to find a name for them. It would be Army Group, the Army Group that would have like the actual name. Switzerland recognizes the Commune. Switzerland is now recognizing the Commune of France as France. Well, that's not great. Legionnaire. A movie called A Legionnaire, starring the comedic superstar Van Damme. So it's like Chaplin. It's often been compared to American actor Charlie Chaplin. There we go. This time the actor plays Fernand, a henpecked husband who, after getting knocked out, wakes up in a caravan heading towards the Algerian interior. His identity papers stolen and replaced by new ones. He's now another man, a new volunteer in the French Foreign Legion. Okay. We will need bombers because we will want to bomb some stuff, maybe even to like attack and patrol in Niger. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the strategic bombers as well because I think we will want to reserve the right to just bomb the crap out of the communards before we do anything and just let them fight the Germans while we bomb them. And then when when we're about to invade, we can use those strategic bombers if we want to, if we have enough oil or enough fuel for it, to bomb stuff in the south here. Like, we can bomb logistics over here to sort of make it hard for them to defend down here, and then we can just push up and hold for a long, long time. Oh, that's in support artillery. Reducing ahead of time penalty, that's really good. Let's do this though and start researching the armor. We are still doing fine on the resistance front. Nepal declared war on the Dominion of India, which means we're probably going to get pulled into that war, even though it doesn't matter. Russian Empire declared war on the Islamic Federation of Turkestan. The Lurking Mystics. One of the most controversial aspects of the Action Française is the continued relationship of some of its members with occultism. Wonder what this might be a reference to. For many reactionary Catholics, this relationship is evidence enough that they are not truly committed to the counter-revolutionary cause. In Algeria, this relationship has deepened even further under the influence of characters like René Guénon and his newspaper Lagnos. And the desire to fight an esoteric spiritual war against the syndicalists, some have flocked to the Masonic orders, despite the deeply anti-Masonic rhetoric of the new integralist monarchy. Furthermore, with Guénon's conversion to Sufism, many of these Masons and other types are increasingly interested in the native Sufi tariqas or orders. With the AF now in power, this relationship is increasingly troubling. We can tolerate them. We can destroy the Masons, but leave the tariqas alone. Let's not punish the indigenous, or we can crack down on both. The eldest daughter does not tolerate occultism. How about we destroy the Masons, but leave the tariqas? It's all like part of like pretty much every movement in this time of history that was sort of fascistic in a way, or integralist, where you you know, you take like all the right wing powers and sort of, you know, merge together for all of New York City. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, okay. Federal militias have taken. Okay, so we're our side is winning. But what was gonna say? Yeah, so like it's not uncommon for all of these like movements that you can read this if you want to point towards these like esoteric orders and these like strange hidden enemies or whatnot that are manipulating things from the shadows. Iberian Federation has joined the Third International. Well, that kind of sucks. And it's not necessarily exclusive to the right either. The left sometimes does it as well, like in terms of painting, for example, like World War I in the Norwegian left-wing press was painted as like this this effort that was sort of orchestrated by military industrialists, which is not entirely incorrect, but it's not true either. It was mostly, you know, orchestrated by the actual ruling monarchies and such at the time. The next stop of the diplomatic voyage of Prince Henri is Lisbon, capital of the Kingdom of Portugal. So what's the deal here? We're becoming friends with Brazil and Portugal. Are you they're national populace as well. Okay. So we're starting to like form a well, you guys aren't. We're starting to form like a little we're starting to form like a little national populism I guess reading group. Factory output, really good. Let's go down that path. Now let's get the armor, because we got that 10% off. Germans are kicking the Socialist Republic of Ukraine's ass, which is to be expected. Had they only waited until the war, that probably could have gone very differently. Oh, phase 4. Annual IEDC review. Let's invest 50 political power and see if we can pull something out of it. Let's have them assist with our... Yeah, let's do the economy. For more factory output. Yeah, there it's over. German Empire took Ukraine. A new movie has taken French cinemas by storm. That's like the 12th bureau or something, right? No, the 2nd? Wait, the 20th? I don't know. You can read it if you want. A new anthem. So the Marseillaise has been the national anthem of France since 1879. And we're going to... Let's see. So yeah, it's related, of course, to the French Revolution. We can't let the Republicans have it. Keep the song. Reject the revolution, abandon the song. Let's compromise, adopt a modified version. Let's do a modified version with a different lyrics. That's very normal. Like with Russia, for example, with the Soviet Union and then, you know, the Russian Federation. The melody is the same, but the... Why did the music stop? The melody is the same, but the lyrics are different. Invest in civilian factories, military or naval dockyards. I want off-map civilian factories every time. We can build the military factories on the map because they are quicker to build, and each off-map civilian factory we have is a civilian factory that we don't have to worry about getting bombed, and a civilian factory that can repair anything that got bombed here. Like, if you have enough off-map civilian factories, I believe it is impossible to bomb you into ruin with strategic bombing. Because the whole idea is that you're meant to, like, bomb the civilian factories to the point where they can't repair each other anymore, and you've sort of got the enemy economy in a gridlock. That being said, my voice is dying, so I'm going to say thank you so much for watching, and of course, as I alluded to, there's a Discord link in the description down below if you want to join the community, and Twitch, where I stream. I was meant to stream, like, probably the week before you get this video, maybe, but I ended up, there was scheduling conflicts, but I will be trying to stream more. So check that space if you're interested in that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.